Hi there Ace family, welcome back to the channel. I've got another request for a video, New World versus ESO, but I'd rather do one better. Let's dive into New World and give it a thorough review as a new player and see if it is really worth playing in 2023 as a newbie. For those of you who are new here, my approach is simple. I play an MMORPG for the first time and share my honest thoughts after the initial 4 hours of gameplay. Later on, I provide updates on how my experience evolves. If you're a seasoned New World player, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Or if you have another game that you would like me to do, then let me know as well. Let's kick things off by taking a deep dive into the gameplay mechanics. In the game's tutorial did an excellent job of explaining the basic controls, making it a breeze for newcomers like myself to grasp. Visual cues on the screen further aided in learning the controls. Movement in New World is a bit different from some other MMORPGs I've played, like ESO and BDO. The character's unique run and walk animation gives a touch of realism, though it took a moment to get used to. Combat in New World feels somewhat familiar, especially for players who've experienced games like ESO. I'm impressed by the variety of weapons available as well, from swords and shields to muskets and even unarmed combat. New World caters for every kind of player. New World has one of the most user-friendly inventory management systems I have come across. The only thing I'm still figuring out is how to sell junk items I've picked up in the open world. I really need your help on this one. Any tips on how to make the most money in the game? It is interesting how the armor and weapons that you get in the beginning of the game correlates to the NPC you interact with. One thing that stood out for me is the armor looks good from the start of the game. Honestly, I can't wait to see the endgame armor, unless New World is a play to win kind of game. Then endgame armor would probably be bad. I was talking to the Watcher right in the beginning of the game, and at some point I heard the sound of a tree cracking and falling to the ground.
In the fact everyone's corrupted except you? Well,
this got my attention immediately, and I went out to investigate and find the source of the sound. Just to find that is exactly what it was. The sound of a tree falling. It's these little touches that just add to the immersion. From what I've experienced, the game spacing is spot on. You move seamlessly between questing in town and venturing out into the wilderness, and nothing feels too far. Remember, this is my experience in the beginning of the game, and this would probably change later in the game though. New World's incredibly engaging. The objectives and goals are crystal clear, thanks to large, easy to follow quest markers designed specially for all people like me.
what did he say?
I'll admit, on my first night, I couldn't tear myself away from the game. I had to be up early the next morning, but this was the last thing on my mind. Progression in New World is a straightforward affair. Just complete quests and take on creatures. It's a simple and effective system. Of course, the game offers more depth with elements like crafting and more to increase your level. I will explore these later on in the game, but let's stick to the basics at first. The NPCs and enemies in New World seamlessly blend into the world. Their animation and interaction breathes life into the game, making them feel genuine, increasing the overall experience. I also have to commend the game's subtle approach to indicating environmental interactions. It uses a small dot to guide you, offering a clear indication of what you can interact with. This stands out as a user-friendly approach compared to the games that rely on intrusive pop-ups and key prompts, which you sometimes miss when moving around in the world. Now let's shift our focus to the stunning graphics and visuals that New World offers. I've got to say, I'm really enjoying the pirate, zombie, immortal vibe that the game is going. It's a refreshing feel from the typical fantasy and anime art styles seen in many other MMORPGs. The world design perfectly complements the game style. It feels like a real-world setting in the 1600s, but with that new world twist. It's truly in a world of its own. Character customization in New World fell short of my expectations, especially when you are used to titles like ESO and BDO. There's a big potential for improvement in this area. However, when you consider the game's emphasis on other aspects, it becomes somewhat easier to overlook this particular shortcoming. I was truly awestruck when confronting the corrupted captain. The colors were absolutely mesmerizing and the overall environment appeared breathtaking. The game's introduction sequence, featuring the sailing ship and the mesmerizing water splashing effect, was undeniably incredible. It's evident that Amazon Games put a lot of effort into this aspect. Now, Amazon Games truly pays attention to animation as well. The running, looting, chopping down trees and even skinning animals, it's all meticulously detailed, adding to the immersion. On the technical side, it was a different story. I did face some performance challenges. The game is graphically intense and my system struggled a bit, especially when I recorded my gameplay. Upgrading RAM and optimizing my system will be on top of my to-do list. When it comes to audio and sound, New World strikes an interesting balance. The music isn't exactly standout, but it's not a letdown either. Where the game truly shines is in the environmental sounds. You can hear the distant echoes of players firing muskets and blunderbuss, not sure exactly how you pronounce that, anybody help here? And the thunderous crack of a falling tree. These sounds make sure that I know there are players around me. Let me tell you, New World takes the top spot when it comes to storytelling right now. For me, that is. The narrative visuals are mind-blowing. The drawings had my jaw on the ground and eyes locked on the screen like there was nothing between my ears. I mean, just take a look at this.
This island has always guarded the promise of paradise.
Now when it comes to the story, I have so many questions that needs answering. But please, no spoilers in the chat. Like, that little box, what is it? Is that what made me immortal? Why does she want it? Is it for the same reason as well? Now if I absorb whatever is in it, how is she planning to get it out? It's got mute. I'm completely addicted to the game right now. As for the content and the replayability, I haven't delved deep enough to give a definitive opinion, but I stumbled upon a character in the game who gives off that same zany energy as Cicero from Skyrim. From the card part to the same way he talks and even sounds. It's a delightful surprise and makes me miss Skyrim again. I mean, take a look at this and tell me I'm wrong.
Did you see my court? Huh? The wilds of Aeternum have never been safe. But the roads? I've never seen anything like this before today. Vicious bulls came out of nowhere. Ate all me truffles. How should I know? Do I look like some kind of boar mind reader? Not me. I'm just a simple travelling herbalist. Tell you this much, however, the beasts have ruined me for the season. You mean you'd help old hapless Hal? Why, yes, you're a saint. Take my sickle, hunt up some truffles, and bring them to the settlement. Oh, gather any herbs or berries you see for yourself as well. They'll fetch a gold or two at the trading post.
The multiplayer scene in New Room is bustling. Similar to the likes of BDO and ESO, with peak player counts ranging from 24,000 to 30,000. Visually, the game is buzzing with activity. You'll hardly find a spot without another player. However, the server queue can be a bit off-putting, with waiting times of up to 20 minutes.
20 minutes later.
This isn't a thing in older games, and it feels a bit like we're heading backwards. I'll be testing less crowded servers next time to see how it affects the queue, gameplay and network stability. On the technical side, I had a bit of a bumpy start. The game crashed on the first start attempt, and the second time it took quite a while to load. It could be related to my system's capacity. I'm currently running 12 GB of RAM, which ran at about 80 to 90% while recording and playing. I think it might be time for upgrading to 16 or even 32 gigs.
Well, duh.
My Nvidia GTX 1060 6GB should handle the game on medium settings, but the loading times have me considering improvements. New World embraces simplicity in its user interface, and it works wonders. Clean tabs and clear labels just look so good. The map is straightforward and easy to follow, making navigation a breeze. It is worth mentioning that New World earned a nomination for Game Award for Best Multiplayer back in 2021, a testament to its innovative approach to multiplayer gaming. I'm looking forward to see this in action. In terms of value for money, New World stands as one of the best MMO deals out there. Comparing it to ESO, it's like an absolute steal. Steam had a special and I splashed out on the Azoth edition, and I even went ahead and purchased the Rise of the Angry Earth DLC because I believe the game is worth the investment. If you know what my opinion is about this, then you would understand what a big deal this is. When it comes to comparisons, New World was released in 2021, so it wouldn't be fair to put it point for point against other older titles like ESO and BDO. However, in terms of multiplayer, it feels like ESO. In gameplay, it's a unique blend between Skyrim and ESO with its own distinct flair. The character view reminds me of Skyrim, while it incorporates a light version of BDO's key combination and ESO's attack style. In conclusion, this is a definitive must-play in my book. Despite a few hiccups like lag, bad ping, especially for players like me in South Africa, and long server queues, the game is genuinely fantastic. Thank you for joining me on this New World adventure. If you're a fan of MMORPGs and immersive worlds, New World should definitely be on your radar. It's a game that's got me hooked, and I can't wait to see where my journey in Aeternum takes me next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.